These 7 characters in One Piece are so powerful. Their strength alone reshaped entire governments, ended wars, and rewrote history. Let's begin with Shanks, one of the current emperors of the sea, and widely considered one of the strongest Haki users alive. One of his most impressive feats happens when Admiral Green Bull attempts to attack Wano. From miles away, Shanks releases a burst of Conquerors Haki so powerful that it completely intimidates the Admiral and forces him to retreat without even engaging in battle. The sheer range and pressure of this Haki display is something we've almost never seen before. Shanks also showed his overwhelming power when he confronted Eustace Kid. In a single strike using Roger's technique, Divine Departure, Shanks instantly defeated Kid and his entire crew, ending the fight almost immediately. Moments like these have even drawn comparisons between Shanks and the legendary power once possessed by Joyboy, suggesting that his Conqueror's Haki may be among the strongest in the current era. Next up is Edward Newgate, the man known as the strongest man in the world. At 72 years old, while seriously ill and previously on life support, Whitebeard still managed to put on an incredible performance during the Marineford arc. Even in this weakened state, he fought against the full power of the Marines. Throughout the war, he clashed with all 3 admirals, Akainu, Kuzan, and Kizaru, while also battling many other Marines across the battlefield. Despite everything working against him, Whitebeard at several points actually overpowered the Marines and proved too powerful for them to easily put down. Even setting Haki aside, his destructive power was unbelievable. Using the Gura Gura no Mi, he nearly toppled the entire Marineford base with massive earthquakes and shockwaves. And this was still only a fraction of his prime strength. In his younger years, Whitebeard was one of the few pirates capable of rivaling the Pirate King himself, Gol D Roger, with their clashes lasting days and even splitting the heavens. Even with all this, Whitebeard comfortably sits at number 6 on this list. Next, we have Monkey D. Garp, the legendary Marine known as the hero of the Marines. Unlike many top-tier fighters in One Piece, Garp relies almost entirely on pure Haki and physical strength, with no Devil Fruit ability backing him up. One of the best demonstrations of this comes during the Galaxy Impact attack on Pirate Island. With a single punch, Garp created a massive shockwave that devastated a large portion of the island and sent enemies flying everywhere. The sheer scale of destruction from just one strike shows how absurdly powerful his Haki really is. But the feat that truly cements Garp's legacy is his rivalry with the Pirate King himself, Gol D Roger. In their prime, the two fought each other countless times, pushing one another to the brink without either side being able to decisively win. For a Marine with no Devil Fruit powers to compete directly with the future Pirate King speaks volumes about Garp's strength. Between his overwhelming Haki, his legendary battles with Roger, and feats like Galaxy Impact, Garp stands as one of the most powerful characters in the entire history of the series. Coming in next is Gol D Roger, the man who conquered the Grand Line and became the Pirate King. What makes Roger especially impressive is that he achieved all of this without possessing a Devil Fruit ability, relying instead on his overwhelming Haki and combat skill. One of the best examples of Roger's strength comes from his legendary clashes with Edward Newgate. Even when Whitebeard was in his prime and wielding the devastating power of the Gura Gura no Mi, Roger was still able to fight him as a complete equal. Whenever these two titans met at sea, their battles would last for days at a time, with neither side able to overpower the other. During one of their most famous clashes, their Conquerors Haki collided with such force that their weapons never even touched, and the shockwave from the impact split the heavens above them. This moment perfectly captures just how powerful Roger's Haki truly was. To fight evenly with the world's strongest man, despite having no Devil Fruit, places Roger among the absolute strongest fighters the world has ever seen. Next is the mysterious and terrifying captain of the Rocks Pirates, D Xebec. Even though we still know relatively little about him, the few details we do have paint a picture of one of the most dangerous pirates to ever exist. Rocks commanded a crew that included future legends such as Edward Newgate, Kaido, and Big Mom. The fact that someone could lead a crew filled with monsters like these already says a lot about how powerful he must have been. His greatest known feat took place during the God Valley incident, where it reportedly required both Gol D Roger and Monkey D Garp fighting together to finally bring him down. Just the idea that the Pirate King and the hero of the Marines had to team up to defeat a single opponent speaks volumes. Even without seeing the full fight, this alone places Rox among the most powerful figures in the history of the world. Now, we move to one of the biggest mysteries in the series, Imu, the secret ruler who sits upon the empty throne. While very little is known about Imu's abilities, the implications of their power are enormous. Imu commands the world government from the shadows and appears to possess the authority to erase entire nations from existence. The fact that even the five elders kneel before them shows just how absolute their authority truly is. Because so much about Imu remains hidden, it's hard to fully measure their strength. But if the hints and implications are anything to go by, their power may rival or even surpass the greatest figures in history. Finally, we have the legendary figure known as Joyboy, a name that has echoed through history for over 800 years. One of the most incredible demonstrations tied to Joyboy appears during the Egghead arc, when an ancient surge of Haki is released from the giant robot connected to the Void Century. The idea that Joyboy's power can still be felt hundreds of years later speaks volumes about how overwhelming his Haki must have been during his lifetime, placing him among the most legendary figures in the entire history of the world.